Hello and welcome to the next video of our Module 5, which again is all about how to optimize for conversions, how to get as many visitors as possible to become buyers. And in this video, I am going to speak with you about social media and social proof. So these things are very important. I'll explain why, and I will explain how we use them to get more visitors to actually buy from us. So the first thing I wanted to share is this infographic, and I put the source below it, but this is kind of crazy, right? So this was a survey that was done by Invesp.com, and they found that 78% of people said that social media posts impact their purchases. So that sounds crazy, right? That's huge. 4 out of 5 people basically said that companies' social media posts impact their purchases. So when I first saw this, I kind of was like, that study maybe wasn't that correct. So I looked more into this. I did more research on it. And every study I saw is pretty much between 70 and 80% say that they actually make purchase decisions based on social media posts. So I think this more applies to the younger demographic, but either way, social media has been something that my company has been involved with for years now. We do it in a very simple way. There's a reason for that, and don't worry, you don't have to learn all these new channels. I'll explain exactly how we do it and how you should do it too. But I wanted you to see this to know why it's important. So don't skip this, is what I'm trying to say. If you're doing everything else right, you should be doing this as well because it will boost your conversion rates. Okay, so social media pages, which ones are we going to use? We're going to keep it very simple. You got Facebook, we have Twitter, we have Pinterest, okay? And that's it. So congratulations, right? It's not that bad because there's so many platforms out there. I only want you to focus on these 3. Now, listen, that doesn't mean you should never get involved with any other platforms, any other social media platforms. But my advice right now, we're in the Dropship Blueprint. What we're trying to do is get you a semi-automated dropship store that's up, that's running, that's profitable, that's making you money. And I'm telling you to do that. These 3 are more than enough. And in the future, if you're looking to scale and turn this into something totally different, then yeah, maybe you want to expand, but don't worry about anything else, okay? Let's focus on these. So the first one, let's talk about our Facebook strategy and the steps that there are to create your Facebook account. So very simple. You're going to create a Facebook business page, and I'm going to post below this video with a guide on how to do that because honestly, Facebook puts out great resources showing you how to do this. So there's no point for me to walk you through how to do it. It's literally a few clicks. So I will link you to that below this. The next thing you're going to do on your Facebook page is upload your business info. Again, Facebook makes this insanely simple. They ask you for your website URL, your business name, the About Us, just simple questions like that. So you're just going to enter that. So the profile is complete. And then here's the big thing that we do. We post 2 to 3 times a week to our Facebook page, and that is it. Okay, so for our Facebook strategy, right? We're not using it to try to bring in new customers. We're using it to show that we actually are a real business and that we are active still. We're not some website that was built years ago that no one touches. That's why we use Facebook. That's why we post. And again, in the future, what's good about this is that you'll be situated, should you ever want to turn it into a bigger Facebook advertising campaign, you'll have your base already there, which will be easier to build on. But for the purpose of the Dropship Blueprint, this is all we're going to do. And yes, this is still all that I do on most of my stores. Now, you're probably wondering, what do these posts look like, right? So here's an example, a company called Wayfair. This is theirs. And yeah, it's a same thing. This is one of their posts, but very simple. They post a link to their site and write a sentence about it. So we do stuff very similar to this. We post, pictures of our items. We post links to different product pages. We post links to different categories and write a sentence on it. So nothing doesn't have to be the most compelling thing in the world. Again, the purpose of this is so that when people actually find us, when they come to our website, I'm not expecting them to find us through social media. I should stress that too. But when they first find us and they come to our website, a lot of people do jump on Facebook and search for your company name or Google it. So you want to appear in multiple places so that they find you and see that, again, that you're a real business and that you're active. So this is the strategy. It's not all about creative ads and lead generation. It's about showing you're active so that when your visitors search for you, they could find you and know you're a real business and put more trust into you. So let's move on now for our Twitter strategy. The steps, same thing. You create an account on Twitter. They don't have different accounts when you're first setting it up really for business or personal. So just create an account. The account name should be your website name. If that's not available, it should be something similar. And I'll post a link below this video for how you do that. The next thing you should do is upload your business info. So just like with Facebook, they will ask you some questions. They'll want a little bio about your business, a few sentences, and your website URL, your photo, which would be your logo. And then same thing, post 2 to 3 times a week. And, basically the same, this is how we schedule it, which should help you as well. As I mentioned with our expiring coupon codes, they expire twice a week on Wednesdays and on Sundays at midnight. And I mentioned that in the module about stressing urgency. So on those days when those are updated, we also have our VA post to our Facebook and post to our Twitter. So kind of it just keeps it in check. Like we know on Wednesdays and Sundays, these things have to happen. For Twitter posts, here's an example of that company I showed you before. And again, same steps, but the company Wayfair.com. You can look at their Facebook and look at their Twitter because they're pretty good at it. They post a lot of content, a lot more than we do, a lot more than I recommend. But it's a good way to get some ideas for types of things that you could post. So this is an example of a good tweet. It's an image from one of their products, a little sentence, and a few hashtags. And again, we're not doing this to try to bring people into our site and to get them to buy. We're doing it just to show people that we're active. When they search for us and they find us, we want them to see that we're actually still in business. Basically, that's why we do this. Okay, the last one is Pinterest. So the strategy, and this one, I'm just being completely honest, this one's a little bit more advanced than Facebook and Twitter for the way that we use it. Still not that difficult, but when you're like allotting time for yourself to build your social media pages, just know that the Facebook and the Twitter one, you'll be able to build those probably within 10 or 15 minutes, honestly, but Pinterest will take a bit longer. So the steps for Pinterest, you're going to create a business page, and I'll post a link again below this video for how that's done. Then you will upload your business info, same thing. They ask questions about your business, you enter it. And then what we do here that's a little bit different. If you've used Pinterest, you could probably picture this. If you haven't used Pinterest yet, again, I'll post the guide below this video. But what you're going to do is recreate your store on Pinterest. So what you basically do is create different boards. That's how Pinterest works. And you'll have a different board for each of your product categories. And then in each board, you will pin your products. So it might not make much sense now. Again, I'll post the guide that'll help you. What's really cool about all of these, about Facebook, about Twitter, and about Pinterest, is that Shopify, and you're going to see this when you're setting up your Shopify account, but Shopify actually is the most advanced e-commerce platform out there right now that's available to people like us. And they actually allow you to put buy buttons on all of these pages so you could sell directly through them. Now, this is something that is more advanced, and honestly, I don't even do much of it right now. So the only place that I recommend doing it is on Pinterest. So you'll see how to do that in the link below this video. But what I want to mention, because as you're setting this up, I bring it up because as you're setting up your Facebook and your Twitter with Shopify, it's going to tell you that you could build basically a Facebook store and upload your products there for sale. But we're really not doing that, again, for this reason. I want to be super clear that we are using social media. We're not using social media to gain new leads, but instead we're using it to build social proof. We're using it so basically people see that we're legit. And I know I keep saying that, but it's so important because there's one principle, psychological principle that basically is about, it's called social proof. And it's showing that it's a lot easier for someone to make a decision when they're following the herd, when they're doing what other people have already done. So no one wants to feel like they're going it alone. So if they could see on social media that you're making posts and that people are liking them, which is very easy to do, just like it from your own account, then it makes them feel a lot more secure. And as you post more and more and as people find it, you will build a following organically. One thing I'll mention too is don't buy likes, don't buy Twitter followers. There's no reason for that. Don't go to like Fiverr and buy any of those gigs. But back to the psychological side of things and why this works. I read a really great book, actually a bunch of times, and it's called Influence. It's super cheap on Amazon. It's an older book, but the principles still really apply. And if anyone is interested in this book, hasn't read it yet, go over to Amazon, pick it up. It's awesome. It's awesome. There's a lot of really good concepts that you can use in all types of marketing and in life. But as you see, the title of the book is Influence, and the tagline is The Psychology of Persuasion. And basically, it's about how to get people to do things and why people do things. And what's great about this book and what I love about it is it gives actual case studies, and it's not just a bunch of like, oh, you should do this, you should do that. You know, there's science behind it. So I've already went through a couple of the principles with you. Obviously, I just went through social proof. Another one of the principles in the book is scarcity. We talked about that earlier with stressing urgency. And then there's one more that I'm going to mention in this video also, and that's the principle of authority. And basically what that means is that when people are making decisions, if they can assume that that person or that business is an authority figure, they're a lot more likely to do whatever you're asking them to do. So in our example, we're an e-commerce store. We want them to buy from us. If they believe that we're an authority in this space, then it's a lot easier to get them to do something. And the way that we could build authority is kind of by having other people vouch for us. And here's how that's done, in addition to reviews, I should say, because reviews kind of fall into social proof and authority. But we can actually do this very, very easily before we even have any sales, so which is really cool. So let me show you how. One of the ways that we do this is by actually adding authorized dealer badges to our websites. So I'm sure you've seen some of these, like AT&T. If you're in America, biggest cell phone network, you see a lot of stores and they say AT&T authorized retailer. And then if you see on different websites, maybe they say Kenwood authorized online retailer, and you see these everywhere, right? And it's for a reason, because they know, the businesses that post these know that the person making the buying decision will feel a lot more comfortable if they're buying from a business if they're buying from a retailer, I should say, that was authorized from the actual supplier, the company making these. So as we apply with suppliers and they approve us and we become authorized dealers, these badges should not only be added to your About Us page, but they should also be put on the product pages for that supplier. So let me make that clear. If, for an example, you sold safes online, so this first badge up here is for a company called Liberty Safe. Let's say you sold safes and you were approved with Liberty Safe. Then on every product page on your site for a Liberty Safe item, you should have this badge showing off that you're an authorized dealer. It makes a big difference, and it's super easy to do. And you could do it as soon as you get approved with an account. For a supplier, you don't have to. There's no waiting game here. You could do it right away as soon as you get approved. Now, a lot of companies, a lot of your suppliers won't have these authorized dealer badges pre-made. So what we do in that situation is simply take their logo, and then we open up Photoshop, or if you don't have Photoshop, you can use a website called canva.com, and under their logo, just add in authorized dealer, because it's true, you're an authorized dealer of their brand. Again, it's the way to add authority and increase conversions. Now, there's some more cool things that we do here. Again, trying to associate our businesses with other big companies, because it builds authority. It makes people more likely to buy from us. So one of the easier things is add credit card logos. So we do accept Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover. And when we have the logos displayed on our website, it adds credibility, because we're not just some guy online asking for a check. We're a legitimate business that accepts these credit cards. Another thing you should definitely do is add a badge that says your website is SSL secure, which is true. One of the benefits of Shopify is that it's PCI compliant and it's 256-bit encrypt, so super secure, and these badges work. It shows the visitor that they're on a secure website, so you should definitely add a badge like that. Another possibility would be if you accept PayPal as one of your payment options. If you're verified with PayPal, add that you're verified with PayPal. Put it on your site. It builds credibility by connecting you with someone else. It builds your authority. It makes visitors more likely to buy from you. One other thing that we do on all of our sites is we list the companies that we ship with, or I should say that our suppliers ship with. But we put these there because it, again, ties our companies, our dropship sites, with much bigger, much more established brands, and it builds our authority. So things like the USPS, UPS, FedEx, DHL, whoever it is that you ship with and that your suppliers ship with, add their logos to your site, because it'll build your authority. It'll make people more likely to buy from you. So hope that all makes sense. Any questions, as always, post them below this video or jump over to the fastbusinessforum.com. And if not, once you go through all this, hope you're taking notes, then go ahead, move on to the next video, and I will keep the training going. I'll see you there.